So it looks like Naomi just confirmed that she is done with WWE. We'll talk about why in just a second. Before I do, though, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. So, Naomi, of course, has not been seen on WWE TV since Sasha Banks and herself walked out of the company allegedly. Well, reportedly, allegedly. We kind of know that that's what happened at this point. They walked out of the company, leaving their World Tag Team title belts on John Laurinaitis' desk over creative differences. We now know that Sasha Banks has moved on to other ventures. She is now Mercedes Moné in New Japan Pro Wrestling, reigning as the New Japan Women's World Champion. And the last wrinkle in all of this, the last domino that everyone was waiting to fall in this story, has always been Naomi. There was a lot of talk about her potentially joining up with the Bloodline. And because of her relationship with Jimmy Uso, you would think that that was a no-brainer, that eventually she'd return and they'd have this great big reunion and everyone would be happy and it would be great, right? And WWE fans would all be cheering on and being like, yes, it's a new era, the Bloodline. Yeah, well, that didn't happen. And it looks like the Bloodline now is just wrapping up as a story for both Roman Reigns, the Usos, and everyone. It just seems like over the next few months, it's going to come to an end. And that kind of leaves, or left, I should say, Trinity Fatu, aka Naomi, in a very weird place because we still didn't know what was going on with her. But now we know, kind of. A commenter on Instagram replied to one of her posts asking whether or not she's still with the company. She responded by saying just, and I quote, "No, friend." So, given that, I mean, that is one wrinkle of this. The other bigger, I think, news story here is that there has been a trademark filed for the name Trinity Star, which, for you, those of you who don't know, Naomi's real name is Trinity Fatu, and I think Trinity, we can all agree Trinity is like an awesome wrestling name, like, or just an awesome name in general, but it also serves as a very cool wrestling name as well. So, given that, and given the fact that I think that there's definitely going to be a demand. We've seen what Sasha or what Mercedes Moné has been doing. Mercedes Moné, her name right now is money on both the indies and Japan, and it would really make sense considering the fact that over the past almost year at this point since those two left WWE, over the past year they have made a big point about doing everything that they do together. Whether it be going to movie premieres, whether it be WrestleCon signings, no matter what, they have been making sure that they've been seen together. It's been less frequent since Mercedes Moné joined up with New Japan and started doing that, but I still think that the most likely scenario at this point is for Trinity to join Mercedes in whatever they do, because I know that her contract right now with Japan runs out in April. I think there's a likelihood it's going to be extended there. There's talk that WWE are still in discussions with Mercedes about her future there potentially, but the most likely scenario that I see, the thing I really want to see also as well, is I want to see what Trinity can do outside of WWE, because we are so used to seeing Naomi, and don't get me wrong, Naomi, the character, Naomi, the wrestler, amazing. I love it. But I want to see an extra element added to it. And I think there is a part. You got to think, right? The whole reason that these two walked out allegedly was over creative differences over their booking as a tag team. They wanted to be booked as a tag team. They wanted the tag team titles that they, in storyline, worked so hard to get, and in reality worked so hard to get and get over. They wanted them to mean something. And given that, you would think that they would want to go out there and prove themselves right? Like they would want to go out there and have awesome women's tag team matches. Because right now, that's like one market that's like, in just wrestling in general, that still I don't think has reached like its full potential in any sense of the word, right? Because we have great women's matches. It's amazing. But there isn't a focus on women's tag team wrestling. And it's a damn shame because you got so many women on Raw, SmackDown, AEW, everywhere who just for whatever reason, like they're only getting like one or two matches a week, right? And then you have like a whole roster, a whole separate roster of women basically doing nothing and just kind of there to like interchange, like they're interchangeable at that point. Like, okay, who's Jade Cargill wrestling this week? Sky Blue, and then what's Sky Blue doing next week? Nothing. So this could be a way, if let's say they go to AEW, for example, right? This could be a way for them to introduce women's tag team titles and be able to showcase the women more and be able to give those women who aren't on TV, Nyla Rose, Riho, who's been on TV a little bit more recently, but like for a year, 2 years basically, was nowhere to be seen. So there's a lot there, I think, that could happen if you bring in someone like a Mercedes, or if you bring in the team of Mercedes and Trinity. But I mean, at the end of the day, it just depends on what they want to do. If this is what they want to do, if they want to focus on tag team wrestling, I think that the most likely scenario is them doing it together. And in whatever capacity they're going to work, or they would work on the indies or outside of WWE, let's say, it's just hard for me not to see those two crossing paths at one point, because there's money in it. At the end of the day, like, we can talk about, oh, well, we're in it for the story, we're in it for the wrestling, we're in it for the blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, people wrestle to make a living. They want to make money. And there's no way around that, right? Like, we all know why Mercedes Monet's last name is Monet. It's a play on money. Well, it is money, but I always pronounce it wrong. I pronounce it as Monet. Anyway, but point being, at the end of the day, I think there's more money in them as a team and them telling that story as a team than there is anything else that they would do. At least right now, at least initially, if Trinity was to be a free agent and want to sign elsewhere, right? Like, I think that's the thing that's going to get them the most money initially. And then they're going to go off and have like amazing matches, as Mercedes has been having. Like, she's a draw in New Japan. She's a draw anywhere she goes in herself, right? But that story, I'm not going to compare it to like what it would be like if CM Punk came back and we got that CM Punk FTR versus the Elite match. But like, it's like I would say in the principle of what it would mean, like, it means like the same thing, I think. Or it means like that. I'm doing a bad job of explaining this. It means a lot. That story means a lot. That story needs to be told on a wrestling show. You all know what I mean. It's Saturday. I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm tired. I'm fasting. It's been a week. Anyway, I just dropped something. There we go. This is all falling apart 8 minutes in. Anyway, last point here is that no matter what happens, right? No matter what happens, one thing's for sure, and Sasha Banks actually talked about this week. At the end of the day, we don't know the full story of what happened and what exactly led to their walkout of WWE. What we do know is that they left, they haven't been back, and Mercedes is in Japan. It looks like Trinity doesn't want to be associated with WWE right now. And all signs point to the eventuality that those two are going to wrestle each other or wrestle together at some point outside of WWE. And all I know is it's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. Y'all let me know what you guys think, though, in the comment section. Will it be great? Is Trinity actually gone? Will she return to WWE and do her amazing stuff that she's always been doing? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And until next time, keep it real.